What's going on, YouTube fam? This is your girl Mine. I'm back with another video. Before we get started, I'd like to thank everybody for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate you guys. Please don't forget about the YouTube giveaway that's going on. We're like almost halfway to 500, so I appreciate all the love and the support that everybody's showing. I appreciate it. But I want to get on here and I want to talk about a few, not a few, but just one right now. I feel like, it's a diversity. I feel like I have white, black, Hispanic. I have all types of subscribers on my channel. So I wanted to get everybody's perspective. I would like to talk about Tucker Carlson and how, even though, he's trending all the time about how he's canceled, Tucker Carlson is not going to be canceled, first of all. Tucker Carlson has the #1, has the highest rating of cable news television. So he has a huge following, and as much as we don't want to believe it, that huge following most likely have the same mindset as Tucker Carlson. So if him being canceled, I just don't believe that will happen. I'm so sorry. As much as he should be canceled, as much as the problematic stuff that he says about and that he should be canceled, he's not going to be canceled, because there are so many people with that Tucker Carlson mindset. So yesterday, he went on his cable news television show, and he defended the actions of Kyle Rittenhouse. If y'all don't know who Kyle Rittenhouse is the 17-year-old who shot 3 protesters. 2 are dead so far. I'm not too sure about the third individual, but I know 2 are dead so far. He shot with his AR, and literally after he killed these individuals, he walked past police officers, and police officers let him go. Yes, they let him go. He got all the way home, and they apprehended him at home. And it's just so sad because they're out protesting for Jacob Blake. Let's not talk about his past. Yes, he has a history. He has a criminal history, but we will not talk about that because his criminal history does not justify the fact that he got shot in the back 7 times. And there are also conflicting reports about how he, they say he had a gun in his hand, he had a knife in his hands. We don't know that report yet. They haven't released the information. So I'm not going to really talk about that until we get the whole full story. Thankfully, he is alive. So he is alive to tell his side of the story. So I hope he's very soon. I hope he gets better. I heard he's partially paralyzed. I don't know if it's going to be permanent or not. But, hopefully soon, we'll be able to hear his story. But Tucker Carlson went on his show and he said, how shocked are we that 17-year-old with rifles decide they had to maintain order when no one else would? Yes. He also wanted to say, law enforcement stood back and watched Kenosha burn over the last few days, so we're really surprised that looting and arson accelerated the murder. Yes, he said that. Also had a clip. I'm gonna show you the clip, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about it.
Chaos that began with the first George Floyd protests on Memorial Day has reached its inevitable and bloody conclusion. Last night, 3 people were shot on the streets of Kenosha, Wisconsin. 2 of them have died. 2 people died. Many of the details remain hazy. Big media organizations have done their best to downplay and ignore the violence in Kenosha and around the country. But there were a few reporters on the scene last night. One of them, Richie McGinnis of the Daily Caller, was standing nearby when a man was shot in the head. McGinnis ripped off his T-shirt and used it to try and staunch the man's bleeding. Here's the scene. Sorry for the painful video, but it's real. That man later died. At one point, the 17-year-old, who has now been charged, tried to run from the mob. He tripped and fell in the middle of the street. A man ran up and smashed him in the head with a skateboard. The 17-year-old then fired his gun. So what does that amount to? We're unsure. A court will decide whether what you just saw qualifies as self-defense. As of tonight, we really don't have more details. We do know why it all happened, though. Kenosha has devolved into anarchy because the authorities in charge of the city abandoned it.
Look at how he's...
People in charge from the governor of Wisconsin on down refused to enforce the law. They stood back and they watched Kenosha burn. So are we really surprised that looting and arson accelerated to murder? How shocked are we that 17-year-olds with rifles decided they had to maintain order when no one else would? Kenosha has devolved into anarchy because the authorities in charge of the city abandoned it. People in charge, from the governor of Wisconsin on down, refused to enforce the law. They stood back and they watched Kenosha burn. So are we really surprised that looting and arson accelerated to murder? How shocked are we that 17-year-olds with rifles decided they had to maintain order when no one else would?
Hey, thank you guys. You need water? Seriously. Guys to our right, you need water. We need water. We'll throw you one.
Thank you. All right, come on, guys. Let's get out of here. Damn. Which way should we go?
Great, we'll throw you a couple. Thank you. Yes, you. You are a civilian. This area is closed to them. You're trespassing. Leave. Leave now.
Can you throw one up here? Officer, can you throw one
We got a couple. We got to save a couple, but we'll give you a couple. We appreciate you guys. We really do.
Hey, can we go this way? Can we walk this way? Hold on. I need a step.
I'm sure they have a lot of bottles of water.
That's all we can spare.
Nice truck, man.
Okay, y'all. So y'all just seen the clip of Tucker Carlson and his ignorant comments. Now, like I said, this is not the first time Tucker Carlson has said some problematic stuff. I'm gonna give y'all three examples of when he attacked immigrants, when he attacked women, and when he said white supremacy was a hoax. So December 18th, Carlson calls ways when he said immigrants would make the country poor and dirtier. And instead of apologizing, he stood behind his comments and deemed the backlash on attack as free speech. I'm sorry to break it to y'all, but you know, this country, you know, besides the Native Americans, this country is built on immigrants. You know, my ancestors, they were brought over, taken from their land and brought over to help build this country that some people are telling us, you know, to go back, even though our ancestors built this with their own hands. If it wasn't for my ancestors, I personally don't think that we wouldn't have the stuff that we would have today. My ancestors, y'all are standing on the backs of my ancestors, the white people. They have benefited from my ancestors. Anyway, though, so I don't understand. And when they talk about immigrants, we know what the hell he's saying. He's not talking about the people from Canada, the people from Norway, the Netherlands. He ain't talking about those people. They're talking about Mexico. It's just plain and simple. They don't want people, black and brown, to come over. Tucker Carlson is trying to make America, what? White again. I said it. That's what I said. But that's not gonna happen. He also been on tapes. He was belittling women. This is about the women. He said he won't vote to confirm Supreme Court Elena Kagan because he didn't find her attractive. In addition, he said women are extremely primitive and just need to be quiet. He also refused to apologize and said he was caught saying something naughty on the radio more than a decade ago. This is what I think about women. Like, he's married, he has kids. I would hate to see how his house is, how his wife. Sorry, I just got a phone call, but I'm back. So, another thing, one more thing is that in August, a few days right before the mass shooting happened in El Paso, Carlson described white supremacy in the U.S. as a hoax, just like the Russian hoax. White supremacy was a conspiracy used to divide the United States and keep a hold on power. It's actually not a real problem in America. That's what he told his viewers. But the FBI right now currently has 850 open domestic terrorism investigation, and of that number, 40% involve racially motivated violent extremism, and majority of those cases involve white nationalists. Yes, white nationalists. My thing is though, when you have all this, it's in your face. All these mass shootings. What happened with the mass shootings, you guys? Every last mass shooting that involved a white kid, they incited white supremacy values. So yes, white supremacy is a problem. No matter what Tucker Carlson says, white supremacy is a problem. But the problem is, people follow him to the T. His majority of his listeners believe that white supremacy is not a problem. Why? Because I bet majority of his listeners are part of the white supremacists. And I'm not saying all his listeners, are part of white supremacists, but I'm pretty sure there is a good number that is. I'm pretty sure we have some people, who, just want to listen because, they're curious about why does he have such a high rating show. To this day, he has a high rating show. But I just, it's people like Tucker Carlson, that will keep the United States divided, and I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to put down a certain network, I believe all these networks have some hypocrites, Don Lemon, he went Black and Proud for only 2 years. He been problematic in the past also. But we're not talking about Don Lemon right now. We're talking about Tucker Carlson. So that is my take on the whole Tucker Carlson situation. If you are a viewer of Tucker Carlson, please want to explain, what it is that you like about the show. What information are you getting from the show? Why are you such a big fan of Tucker Carlson? Hell, if you don't like him, let me know why you don't like him. Like I said, I believe, I have a pretty diverse audience, so I'm not trying to put down one race. I believe, we all, if we come together, we all can get along. But we just gotta get rid of the hate. There's no hate. Hate will get us nowhere. I believe, we can all come together as a one and work together. That's what I believe. It's kind of hard to see it right now because everything that's going on right now, everybody's so divided and everything. But I just hope, I'm hoping for a better future. I have kids, and I don't want them to grow up and being judged on the color of their skin. So that's all I have to say today. Please comment below, tell me what you think about this video. I would love to hear your opinions. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and until then, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.